Hey everyone, welcome back. This week we're taking our budget-friendly kitchen skills to the next level. If you're new here, my name is Lisa. Welcome to SuttonsDaze. We are all about pantry preparedness. We're going to be diving deep into our freezers, into our cupboards, into our pantry to create some amazing meals. And we're going to learn tips on preserving food that will make you even more like a pro and save a lot more money and have a lot less waste. Let's face it, we all have those cans and bags and possibly boxes in the back of the pantry or the freezer that we forgot about. Well, no more, my friends. No. This segment is all about showing you simple, budget-friendly strategies to turn those forgotten ingredients into delicious meals. We're talking how-to without the actual cooking demonstration, focusing on the principles that make these meals work. The key to successful pantry cooking isn't about rigid recipes. It's about understanding how to combine what you have. Think about these core principles: protein, starch, and vegetables. With these three elements, you can build endless meals from your shelves. Why does this work so well for a pantry meal? First, there are things that you have. You don't have to spend any money. And if you've been spending any time building your pantry, you have at least one of all of those. So with this case, I'm making goulash because Phil requested goulash for dinner. And the only thing you didn't see me pull was the pasta because I forgot to grab a jar of it, but I'll show you that a little bit later. It's super, super simple. And I pulled home canned ground beef, and then I pulled commercially canned rotel and diced tomatoes and tomato soup, and then my freeze-dried bell peppers and onions. Next, I just grabbed my crock pot. I use the 3-quart Instant Pot like a crock pot because it's the perfect size. It's actually just a little bit too big because I don't eat the goulash. I don't handle pasta very well at all anymore. So we're just going to do a real simple dump and go meal. That's how simple this is. I use my home canned ground beef. If you don't home canned ground beef, then grab some ground beef, ground turkey, ground pork, whatever kind of meat, or even beans as a replacement, and brown that up or cook them up and then add them to the pot. Then I add the can of, basically it's Walmart's version of rotel, because it adds a little more oomph to it. It's so diluted by the time we're done that it's not super spicy, but it adds a little zing. Then, oh yeah, that's what it looks like when a pop-top can is not good. So I went and replaced it with another one, and tomato soup. That is the magic ingredient with Phil's goulash, and I'm sure a lot of people use the same thing. It just makes it, I think, in my opinion, just a little bit sweeter. It takes the edge off the peppers, This is not normally the size of diced tomatoes that I use for the recipe, but again, I'm just doing a pantry pull. I don't have anything lined up later this week that I can use the rest of those for, so I'm just going to toss it in there. It's fine, no harm, no foul, and it will not dilute the flavor to where you can't tell what you're eating. Be very careful because those cans are sharp. Yes, they are. It's not a good thing. So we're going to get all of that out of the way, and then we're going to add the freeze-dried onions. Yes, I measure with my heart. That's the best part about it. Because of the extra, first I always add them, but because of the extra tomatoes, I did add a little bit more this round. And then we're going to add the freeze-dried bell peppers. No, I do not own a freeze dryer. I am a consultant for Thrive Life Foods. If you are interested in that, there's a link down below. We have a ton of great stuff, and I literally use this all the time. So we put it into the Instant Pot and clean up our mess a little bit. Just pop the lid on, which always confuses me. I don't know why. And then we're just going to set it for 6 hours because that's roughly when dinner is going to be. I will keep an eye on my clock because I know about an hour, maybe an hour and a half before that is when I'll add the pasta. That's literally poof, dinner's done. And it's very early in the day. It's a great thing. Now let's talk about how to make the most out of the food that we buy and have a lot less that we end up having to throw away. These food preservation tips are an absolute game changer for your budget and for reducing waste. Let's talk about the art of freezing because, my freezer is one of my best friends. The easiest and most often overlooked way to save leftovers is the freezer. Don't just stick that pot back in the fridge. I've seen you. I know what you're doing. The easiest and most often overlooked method is to take those leftovers and portion them into single serve portions that work best for you, for your family, and freeze them. Put them into freezer safe containers, put them into Ziploc bags, and then pop them in the freezer. Always wait until they've cooled off before you do this. You don't want to put them in there hot. Number one, it can compromise the Ziploc bags, but number two, it will not be good on your freezer to have to work harder to cool them down. You just want to put them in there after they've cooled down. And just like that, poof, you have ready-made, easy freezer meals for future days. They're great for lunches. They're great for busy days. Everyone can pick out that freezer meal that they like, right? Or you can just put it into rotation if you're a solo. It's a great way to save money. And if you have the issue that I have, I can make a pot of soup for 40 people. I cannot make a pot of soup for two. Next is dehydrating herbs, because if you have ever gone to the store and you've bought fresh herbs for a specific recipe, right? And then you're like, now what do I do with the rest of this? Because it's always more than what you actually need. Dehydrate them, my friends. There are a lot of people that have dehydrators. If you don't have one, maybe you have an air fryer with a dehydrate setting on it. There are ways to dehydrate them so that then you can mince them up and put them into a jar or something for use later. It's not fresh, but it's really good. Dehydrating is what removes the moisture and makes it so that they don't mold. That's the key right there. So how long do you dehydrate it? As my friend Darcy at the Purposeful Pantry says, until it's done. My next favorite thing is broth from scraps. Yes, this is a fantastic way to make your own vegetable broth. You have to buy a bunch of celery, right? But you only needed like half of it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Dice that up, put it into either containers for later use for soup. Take any of the scraps that you normally wouldn't put into your soup, put that into your broth bucket in the fridge. Is it a literal bucket? No, but you know what I mean. Broth bag, broth container, whatever the case may be. If you have little bits of onion left over, dice it up or don't and put it into that same container. If you have carrots, if you have literally any kind of vegetable, okay, that you want to put into a soup, just put it into that container. And when that bag, container, whatever is full, then you just take that out, add water to it, boil it, add some salt, maybe a little bit of pepper, and you have instant vegetable broth that otherwise would have ended up in the landfill. What a waste. Beyond these methods, simply knowing how to store your fresh produce is going to significantly extend its shelf life. A lot. A lot, a lot, a lot. So here's a couple of quick how-tos. Leafy greens. Leafy greens, yes. If you buy leafy greens and you have some left over that you're not using right away, put them into an airtight container with a paper towel in there. The paper towel will absorb the excess moisture, allowing them to last longer. Onions, keep them in a mesh bag. Keep that mesh bag that you buy them in a cool, dark place. Don't forget about them. Know where they are, okay? But that airflow extends their life. It allows them to live longer. Potatoes, similar, like a cool, dark, dry place. They do not like heat, and they don't like being stored right next to onions, if memory serves. And you definitely don't want to forget about them because what a putrid smell if you do. But as long as you can keep them cool, dark, and dry, potatoes will last you a long time. Proper storage prevents spoilage and means fewer trips to the grocery store, saving you money. Okay, let's get serious about how to minimize food waste for just a minute. This is why it's so important. It translates to money. Not only money, money in your pocket. Every bit of food that you throw out is money that you may as well have just thrown in a trash can. Let that sink in for a minute. Beyond making broth, there's all different kinds of things that you can do with scraps, okay? You can take your stale bread and make it more stale if you have to. Put it in the toaster or put it in the oven for a couple minutes and make it even more stale. Chop it up, grind it up, and you have breadcrumbs. And you don't have to go buy breadcrumbs. Do you know how many people buy breadcrumbs? You can also make croutons. Yeah, a little bit of oil, a little bit of seasoning, mix it all up, toss it on your salad, and you don't have a box to throw away, a plastic bag from inside the box to throw away, and it's flavored exactly the way that you like it. And it didn't cost anything. A little box of croutons costs as much as a loaf of bread anymore. And literally, it's a few pieces. Leftover cooked vegetables from dinner or lunch? Save them. Throw them into a frittata. If you're not a frittata person, throw them into an omelet, okay? Throw them into a scramble or a skillet or something. Turn them into breakfast. There's no reason that you cannot have vegetables with your breakfast. Another helpful tip is to create a bin in your refrigerator, an eat first bin, okay? So these are the things that if you have the munchies, or even if you don't, if you're just making a meal, these are the things in that bin that need to be used up first. If a bin is not big enough, create a section of the refrigerator that is your use first, okay? That's your fresh produce, your fresh fruit. That's, whatever that is in there that is nearing its I'm going to set my dollar bills on fire date, and plan a way to make that part of your meals in the next couple days. It's a great way to have an easy reminder, a visual reminder, so that you don't throw your money away. What is your favorite pantry meal recipe? Or what is a clever way that you have reduced food waste this week? Share it in the comments section down below. We are amazing as a community. There is so much knowledge in this community, and sharing it in the comments section is a great way to inspire other people to do the same. And that way, the Beat Inflation Pantry Challenge benefits everybody. So there you have it, my friends. We have unlocked the power of our pantries and our freezers. We've learned a few tips on food preservation and on how to make the most use out of the food that we do purchase. That is what this challenge is all about. Inspiring you to try different things, different ways to save money using what you already have. Remember, creativity is your best friend when using pantry items. It is the best time to get creative, to be creative, to substitute certain things, like say a recipe calls for carrots, but you don't have carrots, you have celery. Throw the celery in there. It's going to be good. It really will, unless it's carrot soup, and then you've got an issue. Minimizing food waste automatically translates to money saved. Automatically. There's no special formula to it. If you don't throw it out and you make use of it, you have saved money. I hope that you give some of these tips a try, and let me know how it goes. Come back to this video and comment and let me know how it went, the different things that you tried and enjoyed throughout this experience. If you want to see the full recipe for how I make my goulash, check out this video right here. And until next time, everybody, be safe. Stack it to the rafters, my friends.